Well, I heard a bit of bad news today. Oh, Leon and Todd, well, they just love some baseball. Now, when they were young, they had played on the town's baseball team. Leon had been the pitcher, and Todd, well, he played second base. And now that they were a lot older, they spent their free time watching baseball games on TV. And they like to talk about baseball. Now, one time they were sitting around talking about baseball, and Leon asked Todd one day, "Do you think that they play baseball in heaven?" "Well, that's a good question," said Todd. "Now, the one who gets there first, well, you should go ahead and let the other one know somehow. There's some baseball up in heaven. Promise? Whoever gets there first." "Promise." Well, as it turns out, Todd got to heaven first, and Leon waited ever so patiently to hear from him. Now, one day, Leon found Todd sitting in the living room waiting for him. Well, Leon was so very excited to see him. "Well, what's it like up there?" he asked. And what about baseball?" "When it comes to baseball," said Todd, "I have some good news. But then I have some bad news. Good news and bad news. Now, the good news is that we do play baseball in heaven. And we have some fine teams up here. I play second base on my team, just like I used to in the olden days." Well, that's the good news. "Well, what's the bad news?" asked Leon. "Well, the bad news," said Todd, "is that you are scheduled to pitch tomorrow." Once, long time ago, there was a fella named Larry Berger. Do you remember him? Oh man, that guy, he wasn't afraid of anybody alive. But anybody who was dead, oh, that scared the crap out of him. Now one night, Larry was out driving around in the country in his old Jeep, and he got caught in a bad thunderstorm. The rain was coming down in sheets. Now, since his Jeep didn't have a top on it, Larry started looking for a place to take some shelter. But at the first place he came to, he didn't even slow down. Why, it was a old deserted cabin, probably as dry as a bone inside, but Larry knew for a fact that it was a haunted cabin, and he wasn't gonna go anywhere near there. Now, a few miles down the road, he came to an old abandoned church standing all alone in a field. It hadn't been used in years. I don't know what happened to the congregation. Well, there was this old abandoned church, and all the window glass was gone, but it still had a good piece of its roof intact, so Larry parked his Jeep and he ran inside. Oh, it was dark as it could be in there. Larry groped around until he found a pew and he sat down. Oh, it was so nice and dry. And just as he had thought it would be, he stretched his legs out and he made himself really comfortable. Suddenly there was a big old flash of lightning, and Larry saw that he wasn't the only one in that church. Well, there were people sitting in almost every pew. They all had their heads bowed as if they were praying, and they all were dressed up in white. Oh, these must be the ghosts sitting in their shrouds, Larry thought. They must have come in from some graveyard to get dry. Larry jumped up and he ran down the aisle as fast as he could. Ran smack into one of the ghosts. And the ghost, he went blah! Oh, wait a minute. Did you hear that story about the wonderful sausage? I'm sure you have. Oh, you haven't? Sit down and listen to this one. Now, one dark and rainy Saturday afternoon, a fat and jolly butcher named Samuel Blunt had an argument over some money with his wife, Eloise. Now, Blunt, he lost his temper and he killed Eloise. Then he ground her up into some sausage meat and he buried her bones under the big flat rock in their backyard. Well, to keep the murder a secret, he told everyone that she'd moved away, gone back to her mother's house, back in Toledo. Now, Blunt, he mixed his new sausage meat with pork and then he seasoned it with salt and pepper and added some sage and thyme and a bit of garlic. To give it a special flavor, he smoked it in his smokehouse for a little while. He called it Blunt's Special Sausage. Oh, there was such a demand for this new sausage that Blunt bought the best hogs he could find and started raising his own pork. He also kept a sharp lookout for humans. Yeah, some humans make mighty tasty sausage meat. Now one day, a nice plump school teacher came into his shop. Blunt grabbed her and he ground her up, and another time, Blunt's dentist came by and he was a little round man and loop! Up there he went up into the grinder. Then, one by one, the children in the neighborhood began to disappear, starting with the plumpest one and working itself down to the skinnier ones. Oh, and then their kittens and their puppies started coming up missing, but no one ever dreamed that Blunt the Butcher had anything to do with it. Things went on that way for years and years. And then one day, Blunt made a really big mistake. Yeah, a big old fat kid came into the butcher shop and Blunt grabbed him up and started to drag him over to the big old sausage grinder that he had in the back of his shop. But the boy, well, he was a fighter and he broke loose and he ran out of the shop and Blunt chased after him, waving a big old butcher knife. Oh, when people saw this, they realized at once what had become of all the missing children and grown-ups and kittens and puppies. Well, an angry crowd gathered at the butcher shop and, well, no one knows for sure just what happened to Blunt that day. Some say that He was fed to his own hogs. Others say that he was fed to his sausage grinder. But he was never seen again. And neither was his wonderful sausage meat.